All right, Zaya is eager to get started. So we will go with their answer. What kind of chemicals are we made of? Oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus. Yes, we have calcium. Calcium is called a trace element. It's found in our muscles. It's really important for our muscles. We're made of other things too, but those six are the sixth is sulfur. Oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur are the main ones. And then calcium's a trace element, iodine's a trace element. There's a few others, potassium, sodium. But good, I'm glad you guys remember some of the stuff that we're made of. All right, what is a cycle? Just in general, what is the definition of a cycle? Yep, a series of events that is repeated in the same order. Good. And then what kind of things go through cycles? Anybody think of anything? Girls, you should all be able to think of something that goes through a cycle. Water goes through a cycle, yep. Yes, the menstrual cycle. Girls go through cycles. They go through the menstrual cycle every month. Anything else go through cycles? All right, good. Those are good. All right, matter cycles in and out of the ecosystem. Water is one of those cycles we're going to be talking about today. The basic structure of all cycles. We went through these organisms last week. When we put them into chains and webs, now we're going to put them into cycles. So all matter, all these chemicals, they cycle through these three main organisms: plants, animals, decomposers. Plants and animals, when they die, they get decomposed by organisms called decomposers. And they put chemicals back in the soil to get sucked right back up by plants and their roots. And plants feed the animals, and then they both die and get decomposed again. Series of events that repeats over and over again. A biogeochemical cycle is what they're all called as a group together. And bio means life, geo means earth. So we're talking about the cycling of chemicals between living things and the earth. Living things when they're living, and then when they die, the elements get put back into the earth. And then water, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus are the cycles we're going to be talking about today. There are other cycles, but these are the main ones. The water cycle is something you guys learned in elementary school. Every elementary school learns about how precipitation, water comes down to the earth, and then it gets sucked into the groundwater, and then the lakes and streams. Then it gets evaporated. And transpiration is another process that puts water into the air and makes clouds. And then the cycle starts all over again. So water cycles through different phases on Earth. It circles through the atmosphere to the surface below ground and then back through various processes. The fancy science name for the water cycle is the hydrologic cycle. The prefix hydro means water. If you're dehydrated, you don't have any water. If you have a hydro flask, usually people put water in that. So if you know what the prefix hydro means, you should know what this cycle is about. Oxygen cycles through. The oxygen cycles through an ecosystem by plants and animals. Plants release oxygen to the atmosphere during photosynthesis. Animals take that oxygen in and use it during cell respiration to make energy. This is what we breathe. And I just like the picture. Imagine if trees gave free Wi-Fi. We'd all be planting trees like crazy. It's a pity they only give us the oxygen we breathe. The nitrogen cycle. Plants absorb the nitrogen from the soil through their roots. Animals eat the plants and then it travels up the food chain. And then animals and plants die and get decomposed back into the soil. And then bacteria convert nitrogen into ammonia. And that's already in the soil. And that process is called nitrogen fixation, because ammonia is the actual state of nitrogen that plants can use and pull back up into their roots. Phosphorus cycle is kind of the same, it just doesn't need the bacteria. Phosphorus moves through the food web, returns to the soil during the decomposition of dead animals. And then again, plants suck the phosphorus right back up out of the soil after the animals die and put it back in there. And the carbon cycle is a big one right now. Carbon flows between abiotic resources and biotic organisms and then back again. Plants use carbon dioxide to make food during photosynthesis again, and animals give off carbon dioxide as a waste product when they breathe out. So these are natural processes that carbon cycles through the air. However, humans do things like drive cars and make things in factories, and combustion, or the burning of fossil fuels during these processes, also adds carbon dioxide to the atmosphere and causes something called the greenhouse effect. We're going to watch